What's up, my beautiful black people, my beautiful black geniuses? How's everybody today? Welcome to another edition of the Blackwell Project's weekly town hall meeting. I am Kamari Ellis, the host. I'm here with the rest of the Blackwell Project team. Today, our topic is going to be an interesting one. Topic is going to be how can the black community make, create, generate more black billionaires? So before we get into it, let's check in with the team. How is everybody doing today?
Peace, peace, peace. I'm here.
Peace, King. Everything's good. Listen, health wise, everything's good. Trying to stay productive. Doing Corona, I might be the only person still quarantining, but it is what it is.
Me and you, man. Me and you together.
Yeah.
Nah, Malik, you've been out and about. I've seen you out and about.
You saw me at like the grocery. No, I'm actually in line at the bank in one of my houses, but I don't get out of my car. I listen. When I get delivery, I pull up. I got the minivan, hit the button for the back door to open. They put it in. I pull off.
How are you, Courtney?
I'm good. I'm not still quarantining, but I'm not out in the streets. So there's that. Well, I don't know. I mean, I guess I don't know. I definitely have not been working out. So that is definitely I have fallen off the wagon. The wagon is now dragging me. Now I have a wagon. It's a lot. It's a lot, guys.
Hey, but what about your weekly streak? You got to keep that up. Did you keep it up?
You can keep up your weekly streak by meditation.
So have you done that at least? Have you done something to keep the weekly streak alive?
Today I'm doing meditation.
Okay. Hey, listen, you can relate to this more than anybody. You know how with Peloton, those badges and streaks, boy, the mental part of that, I'm like, I had like a 20-day streak I lost before, and I was irrationally angry about it.
Yo, but seriously, like I would if I would mess it up today, and as soon as we get off, I'm actually going to do my meditation because I kind of need it. I would mess up a 37-week streak.
Yeah.
Like I'm going for the 52, y'all. I'm going for the 52. So if I just have to sit down and meditate, I'm going to sit down and meditate because I'm not messing up my streak.
I'm very close to it. I'm at like 40 something weeks, but I'm at like 80 some odd straight days. So I'm trying to get 100 days.
I'm trying to get like you. I really have to get it back together. So please hold me accountable. I'm kind of getting back on the saddle, get back in the saddle, literally and figuratively this week. So keep me in prayer and please keep me accountable.
All right, good stuff. All right, as we continue to keep this conversation moving, remember today's topic is how does the black community create more black billionaires? Be sure to chime in the comments. Let us know what your thoughts are on the black community creating more black billionaires. All right, so next topic will be Black Business of the Week. And Malik, I know you got that one, right?
Yep, I do. I got Broadview bathroom, kitchen and bathroom supply. It is on Broad Street. I don't even see the address up there, but in the city of Philadelphia is the only black-owned building supply. And their prices are sometimes even better than Washington Avenue. So this is where I gotta get all my kitchens, all my floors, everything I get comes from. Well, all that stuff comes from Broadview, and they don't have a large selection of sinks, but they have a great selection of kitchens. The kitchen selection is amazing. Floors are amazing. A lot of specialty items. This is where I go. I try to support them whenever I can. Anybody rehabbing a house or doing rentals, definitely check out Broadview.
So Malik, got a question for you, right? Now you said Washington Avenue, right? So we have a nationwide audience. Just let everybody know kind of like what the demographics are or the landscape is for black contractors and black developers in the city, just so they can understand that a little bit better.
Okay, so for building supply, like the large ones are like the Home Depot and the Lowe's, they don't really carry like a lot of specialty items like designer stuff. You get kind of the basics. So everyone goes to the larger big box ones for your rough and the plumbing, the electric, and that stuff. But as far as your finishes, when you have flooring and then your cabinets, most of the time it's Washington Avenue, and those are all Chinese-owned businesses. Almost all of them are Chinese-owned, and like first generation Chinese-owned. And like I said, so this one, Broadview, man, the only black owned. I don't even know if there are any white owned building supplies. It's just really just Chinese owned, and now Broadview the only black owned.
So none of the ones on Washington Avenue are Italian owned.
No, they're not. None of them. Not one. Now the plumbing supply, and the stone place, those are, but not the building supply, not the fashion plumbing, like the fashion, like none of the kitchen and bath places on Washington Avenue are white owned. They're all Chinese owned.
Gotcha. Didn't know that. That's great to know. All right, cool. So, I know just about everybody on the team is into real estate, minus myself. But Courtney's a real estate investor.
No, I'm not.
Excuse me. Courtney is a real estate attorney and a tax attorney.
I am.
What? You're not. You are.
I am a real estate attorney. I am a tax attorney. I don't really fool with real estate. I have this reno. They done took out one whole wall, y'all. Like a whole wall. I opened the door, the wall was gone. Boom, done.
What did you call it? A reno?
Huh?
You call it a reno?
Reno.
Oh, you know what? I've never heard that term before. Okay.
Seriously?
Cool.
Yeah.
I can't catch it all. Yeah.
Malik, you've heard
For sure.
That's why I said everybody but me is in the real estate on there.
but a reno? Like that's a regular joint, like a renovation.
Yeah, that's not even that, like
Listen.
it's a reno. Like
Gotcha.
Okay, it's Sunday. I'm gonna let you go on that.
All right, cool. So I know Jimmy's in the real estate, and obviously Corey's in the real estate, Tracy is in the real estate, and Malik is in the real estate as well. So we definitely have a very, very top heavy real estate crew here. So that's just something good to know. But as we continue on, let's check in with our crew. Let's check in with the audience who's here. So let's say hello, Gift Malangi. I apologize if I butchered your name. Please correct me in the comments. But good morning to you, lot from Joburg, South Africa. It's 1 a.m. over there. Whoa, salutes to you.
oh man.
Monica. Hey, Monica. How you doing?
So Monica.
Wanda, how are you? Hello. Kim Blaze, how are you? So, all right. Listen, before we get into our topic, right? Y'all let us know, what do you think the Black community can do to create more billionaires? Currently, right now, we have seven that's in the United States. We're only looking at the United States right now. Out of 614, there's 614 billionaires in the United States, and only 7 are Black. Real quick, what's up, Don? Yo, I think Don is everywhere. Don, let me know, man. Are you a bot? Because I swear you on every platform. You catch every post. You like Mr. Robotic.
Listen, man. I'm gonna defend Don. You can't say anything bad about Don. Don's good. Listen, man. Don's good people, man.
I'm not saying nothing bad. I love Don. I don't even know Don. Never met Don, but man, Don catches all the posts. I don't know how you do it, bro.
Don is so supportive that I'm gonna defend him without even knowing him. Like, that's my guy. Leave him alone.
Exactly. That's how we got to do it. We got to take care of our people. All right. So as we get ready to go, guys, what do y'all think? Black billionaires in the community. I know we had a spicy conversation about this. I know there's a lot of mixed feelings about this. But, what's your take on Black billionaires? Real quick, 30 seconds.
Well, my take is, if I know how to become a billionaire, I would be one. So I don't know how to do it.
my take is this, though. I'll jump in. My take is, this is a debate that I have with myself all the time, whether they're actually needed. What good has billionaires done to us overall, outside of being Black people that, and not trying to say this in a pejorative, but hoard resources. I understand the idea of philanthropy once you get to that level, but I don't believe philanthropy will get us anywhere in terms of our community. So I salute the people that have it, and I'm appreciative of their story, and I try to learn from their experiences. But with that being said, I have a debate with myself over whether that's necessary, because I'm more about the wealth being spread amongst the people. I'm more about community than any one individual. And I don't know if creating Black billionaires per se, especially with my experience in dealing with folks that haven't reached billionaire status, but even knowing Black millionaires, a lot of Black millionaires that I know, let's be frank about it, are terrible people. They don't care about the community. they actually look down on their own community. And this is just my experience, not everybody's. And as someone who cares more about community than that I don't even know whether it matters. Like, that's why we had the conversation last week. I think creating more Black millionaires is more important, but I do understand the importance of representation and significance. And when you look at the fact that we make up 13 to 14% of the population, depending upon what you read, but we only make up 1% of the billionaires. There's something off with that. So in those terms, we do need it. But overall, I don't know what Black billionaires does for us as a community. Just my opinion.
No. Courtney, what do you think?
So this is, as you said, this has been a really spicy conversation in our group chat during the week. But I think a couple of things can come to mind when I think about Black billionaires. I think you have at the very top of it, you have credibility, because when a Black billionaire tells you, like, this is how you make money, you're like, okay, you're a billionaire. Maybe you know something about how to make money. So I think you have this credibility sense. But there's also, I think, about reading each one of their stories, or at least having an idea of their story. I think there's some really instructive lessons. Like, one, where you begin isn't where you end. I mean, I think David Stewart, who we'll probably talk about later, he's number 2 on the top billionaire list. First of all, we never heard of him. Most people haven't heard about him. But on top of that, there's a comment about him watching his car be repossessed from his office. Like, they came to come get his car, and he's now a billionaire. So I think, again, their lessons are instructive. Like, okay, it's not always dark. So I think that's a really big one. Tenacity. And then finally, just being Heinz ketchup. And Mari and I, we talked about this earlier today. I think everybody knows Heinz ketchup. And Heinz ketchup was not the first ketchup. It just wasn't. But it changed so much about how we think about ketchup. It even changed the way we spell ketchup, because it was spelled catsup with a C and an A and a T, like completely different. So again, it's about being the best at what you are and then branching out from there. So I do think they're needed, because again, it's about resources. So it's one side is that we're hoarding resources to a certain extent, but on the other side, you have the opportunity, like Robert Smith did sign a pledge about a giving campaign, about giving away, I think it's a certain percentage of his wealth. So again, not only does he amass the wealth, but he's actually giving it away. So
no, I agree. I know for me, Jimmy, I get your discontent somewhat, but I'm like Courtney. I think there's a lot of gems there, right? And us being this Black financial think tank, we always have to be trying to figure out how to extract the gems. And so I think there's a lot of gems here. Again, and Courtney talked about David Stewart. And David Stewart is an IT guy. Robert Smith is an IT guy. You know what? And before we jump too deep into my opinion, let me give the list real quick. Let me go through the list real quick, just so everybody could kind of have, a common background, set the context. All right. So number 7 was Tyler Perry. I'm sorry. Number 7 is who's number 7?
I have Tyler Perry.
Well, he's tied for still. 6 and 7 are tied. So
right, tied for 6. Sorry, Tyler Perry. Then it's Jay-Z, because they did the order in reverse. Then it's Jay-Z, and then it's Kanye. Now, I'm side-eyeing Kanye a little bit, but we'll come back to that later.
That's because
number 4 is Michael Jordan. What's that, Jimmy?
I said it's because you're a Jay-Z stan. You don't like him being ahead of Jay-Z.
No, it's probably because he called Trump his daddy, and his daddy's actually alive. That's another thing, right? So we got Oprah Winfrey. We got Oprah at number 3, and then we have David Stewart at number 2, and then we have Robert Smith at number 1. All right, so when you look at those, a large majority are in entertainment, but the 2 top guys are in IT. Anybody can do IT, right? And so what are some of the jewels and gems that we can extract? And I mean, like Courtney said, your ending isn't necessarily your beginning, or your beginning isn't necessarily your ending. I mean, like she said, David Stewart was broke at one point. Hov couldn't get a deal at one point. Michael Jordan got cut from the team at one point. Kanye couldn't sell any beats at one point, and nor did anybody take him seriously as a rapper, right? Oprah started as a TV journalist, usually not positions that create billion wealth when you look at it. None of these folks really started from a rich family, right? So, but what are some of the common themes that we can see in the mix of all of them that run between them all? Tenacity, Courtney mentioned, persistence, being willing to take a leap of faith, hard work. I mean, a lot of those things are there. And I think if we really start to drill down on some of those things, while we might not create more black billionaires, but we could create a whole lot more millionaires as well. So by studying one, we can get the other. So I think again, there's a lot of things and a lot of gems that we could take from this list.
Yeah. So, and again, when I was saying what I was saying, it wasn't necessarily specifically about black billionaires, but I question what billionaires mean to us overall. And also just understanding that when we talk a lot about like black love, and we also talk about a sense of community. And if we don't work on those things, it doesn't matter if we have 4 other black billionaires. There's a term called philanthrocapitalism, and it's a study where a lot of philanthropists that are capitalists that have excessive wealth, and it's looked how it's actually used and what change it actually makes, and it looks good for headlines, but it doesn't really do anything for the average person. So that was my only pushback. I do agree with you guys in terms of studying some of the things that they have done in order to achieve. Because one of the things about the system that we're in is we're in the system, and as long as we're in the system, we have to figure out a way to navigate it. But I question the system overall. With that being said, the key thing that ties them together to me is the idea of ownership. All of these people own, right? So that's the one common thread to me that I see amongst us. Whether it's Jay-Z and the brands he owns, Kanye. Tyler Perry owning his work, Oprah owning her brand, as well as the other 2 gentlemen at the top of the list, is ownership. It does bother me a little bit to see us it's so heavy in entertainment, but at the other side of that, I understand. I was talking to Kamar the other day, and I was telling him about a conversation. I used to have a ongoing debate with a teacher who's an older guy. He was a professor, and he used to get so offended because this guy was a PhD, and he hated the fact that people thought that as black folks, we were only good for sports and entertainment. So he like fought back on that like daily. And my thought that I expressed to him was, that's okay if we own within those spaces. Mm-hmm. So if we own our own work in terms of entertainment, if we own the sports teams, I think the problem to me at that point is not the fact that we dominate certain industries and we're associated with that, but even the industries that we dominated and we're associated with, we don't own anything. There's a great book called The $40 Million Slave. And when I heard the title, I was like, how can you compare slavery to someone that makes 40 million? But when you read the book and you understand the story and you understand his thesis, you get that we can pay you a salary. You can be a high paid employee, but you'll never get into a level of ownership, because with ownership comes power, and it gives you the power to change other people's lives, not just the salary. So just some other thoughts that I had about this whole idea of a billionaire.
Okay. Let's just check in with the comments real quick and see if we got some more commentary. Don Johnson says, "What's up, good people? Billionaires are cool, but not needed." Don Johnson also says, "Black billionaires could do a lot if they wanted to. What Robert Smith did may have changed a few family trees." All right, good. You know what? I want to comment on that, because what Don's referring to is the gift that he gave to Morehouse. But what I find really interesting is that not Don, but Mr. Smith gave money to pay off loans. Oprah actually has been paying tuitions at Morehouse since forever, way before Mr. Smith was. Not to make this a competition, but I just find it interesting that a lot of us have forgotten about that. So Oprah definitely
she didn't do it for the gram though.
A few, right? She didn't do it for the gram, and the gram wasn't really popping like that when she started it. It wasn't really popping when she started it. All right, so
but hold on, I think we should really talk about that. Because I think he says a black billionaire could do a lot if they wanted to. And then he goes into the comment about what Robert Smith did. And I think that's such a powerful thing, is that, yes, do we need them? No. But are they nice to have? Absolutely. It's kind of like a nice car. It's like, do I need a really fancy sport car? No. But is it nice to drive? Do people like driving them? Absolutely. So I think here's the thing, though. If we have more black billionaires, we do have the ability, if they're willing to give, as Robert Smith has done, they're actually willing to if they're willing to give, they're actually able to change a lot of lives. And I think that's what we do need. We need a lot of different people looking to change lives. And unfortunately, as Jimmy talked about, the system actually lends to us having to work this way. So you can either rail against the system or you can work within it, or you can do both. And both of them are very powerful. So I think it's something that really needs to be highlighted, that, what he did change a lot of family trees. What Oprah does, both billionaires, changes a lot of family trees. That's something that we have that can't go unnoticed.
No, I mean, Courtney, I think that's an excellent observation, right? Because when you look at all the 7, you can't lump them in with the other 614 in the United States. They all do something for the Black community. You might not like it. You might not like them, but you can, if you do the research, you can find something they all have done.
No, listen,
to David Stewart, to Jay-Z, to Tyler Perry. I mean, look, Tyler Perry on his own has basically employed all of Black Hollywood. Now, I know, Don, I see you. I'm coming to your comment. Matter of fact, I'm going to just throw it up now. He says, entertainment. Do we want to push that narrative? I mean, not pushing the narrative, just really presenting what's there, what's going on. Folks do like entertainment. We do like distraction. Why not make money from it? Why not have ownership in it, as Johnny pointed out? Malik, you were saying something?
Yeah, so I was saying that it's the only one I don't know too much about is like David Stewart, but the rest of them, like you were saying, Kamari, they definitely provide a lot of opportunities and change some family trees. I mean, Jay-Z made quite a few people millionaires. And they squandered it. Some of them did. Some of them still grew from that. Looking at Tyler Perry, even though it's entertainment, like what he's doing, what it represents, like actually been able to have Tyler Perry Studios, which is larger than the entirety of Hollywood, and taking the entire industry over potentially, I think is an amazing thing. I mean, the Rock doesn't buy a mansion in Atlanta if it's not for Tyler Perry Studios, right? And so there's a lot of other stuff that goes on behind the scene. And then what's my man in Chicago, Avery Capital?
Oh,
yeah,
John
Ariel Capital.
Yeah. Ariel Capital, right?
John Rogers.
Right. And so I don't even know his financial status. I know he's a hedge fund manager, right? He did create a school in Chicago where he gives them at kindergarten a bag of money that they manage up until they graduate. And when they graduate, they divide the money into scholarship. And so he teaches them how to trade stocks from kindergarten, right? And so there's a lot of stuff that we don't know people are doing. And so we sometimes assume they're not doing a lot. But behind the scenes, they could be doing plenty. But as far as not needing black billionaires, the only reason I think that we need them is because to not have them is to say we don't have as much ownership and have as much large network and large businesses to employ a lot of people. So in that space they'll be needed. But once again, we just don't know exactly what they are doing.
I mean, that's if it's concentrated with those people. But go ahead, I'm sorry.
The Drake song "Cake" is playing in my head when Jay said, "Dame made millions, Ye made millions, Biggs made millions," and he just named all these millionaires that were created from the work that they created. So, being a billionaire isn't something you do in isolation. There are going to be people that benefit from the collective work and the individual work of doing that as well. But right. Jimmy, I'm sorry.
If you think about, real quick, you think about S&P, if you think about, per Don's comment, entertainment, S&P made a lot of people, even through rap snacks, some people are millionaires. I mean, it's just the list just goes on. Like Puff got a lot of publicists, millionaires, stylists, millionaires. Like a lot of black millionaires came out of entertainment. So I don't think that we should minimize the career of entertainment in a way of wealth generation and in a way of ownership. I'm sorry, Jimmy, but go ahead. What are you saying?
No. I was just saying that I get your point about having those billionaires. That means because we can create a certain level of value, but I will push back a little bit, just saying that just means that it's concentrated with that person. Because if the value is spread out more amongst the people, you still have that same level of value. It's just not concentrated in one place. That was my only point that I wanted to make. Because like you said, within the entertainment industry, there's so many millionaires that have been created. There's only a couple billionaires, but there's several millionaires. And there's several millionaires that we've created in other industries as well, whether that's finance, whether that's real estate. But I just think that and again, I'm not trying to come off completely negative. I just think that the idea of a billionaire overall is something I question, considering where we are as a country as well as our personal community. Just overall, something I think about.
All right, well, hold on. Let's get Tracy in the mix. Oh, there she is.
Speaking of millionaires, what's up, Tracy?
Hold on.
Tracy's the one billionaire amongst us.
Yeah, Tracy out here doing whole photo shoots. I just saw that. She like supermodeling out the drone.
I got a lot going on. Sunday is a Tuesday for me, y'all.
Oh, okay. So that means you working.
Working, always.
So I know you're traveling, but before we run into any signal or Wi-Fi battles, do you have any commentary for how the Black community can create more Black billionaires?
I know I haven't heard much about what folks have stated already up until this point, and I honestly just feel like, billionaire status is another status that comes beyond actual systems that are created, that work well, that move into networking and working across the aisle and doing lateral level connection to now formulate a almost Voltron level sphere of influence that can now create on a larger platform with a thought process of impact. So when you think about that, the billionaires really, really can't formulate unless there are other people that they can utilize on their shoulders as resources to create an impact. So I feel like the only reason we don't have billionaires is because we don't all really work together.
That's a great point. That's an excellent point. I kind of said that when we were kind of having that discussion in our chat earlier. I think we would have way more Black billionaires if Black spending moved from 2% that it's currently at now. We spend 2% with our Black-owned businesses just to a mere 10% or 20%. So if the Black community spent more money with Black businesses, we probably would have way more Black billionaires as well. But there's some other,
maybe some Black millionaires, but to be a billionaire, really to be a billionaire, you gotta take a company public, right? You have to create.
No, you don't.
Robert Smith's company's not public.
Well, you cut me off. I was still going. That was the one thing.
All right, my bad.
You just definitely cut it off. But at any rate, to create a large business, right? To take a company public or to create a massive network, and even when you think about or intellectual property, right? But even when you think about entertainment, like that money is created from network, right? The distribution channels or now they're streaming, like it's really all network. Or even if you go from distribution, if you create even a clothing line, the money's in that network of being able to get your clothes to the people. Like that's really the bread. So like those are really the only couple of ways Forrest inherited, right, to really become a billionaire. If you know more, let me know. It's like
so I want to push back a little bit because I think we have to be really careful about the information because I'm looking at the list and not one of them. Now, Michael Jordan has partnered with a publicly traded company, which was Nike, when he created his shoe, the Jordan franchise. I should even say the Jordan franchise. That's the only, now Oprah did work with, she did work with a couple of major media companies, namely ABC, but none of them actually have taken their personal companies or the ones that they started public that I know of. There's some companies that they worked with that are public. I think one of David Stewart's major partners that he has at IT is I think is Citibank. But I think we have to really talk about going public isn't like really what is all cracked up to be, because again, all your business is public and we don't really want that. So it seems sexier than it is sometimes. And really remember, going public is actually to raise capital. It's a company looking to raise capital. So that should tell us something about these companies, that maybe they don't need the capital that we think that going public requires or I should say necessitates. Now, I think there were some really good points that I want to hit on really quick. Is that entertainment is like, do we want to really talk about the entertainment as a way to make money or become a billionaire? But the thing is, in terms of context, that's really only the places that we've been allowed to be in for any prolonged period of time since slavery. So it makes sense that a lot of our billionaires would then come from entertainment, because again, we weren't really able to do much of anything. Honestly, I mean, how many black stockbrokers do you know? I mean, we have to be, in order to get licensed, you have to be sponsored, and they weren't sponsoring a whole bunch of black people. So, I mean, I'm just talking about in context. Entertainment is probably going to be one of the places. Not that we want to make ourselves to be minstrels, but it's just the places that we've had the opportunity. And then Tracy talked about Voltron level of sphere of influence, which is really important because we have whales. And when, I mean, I appreciate Jimmy's point about spreading out the wealth, but when you have a big concentration of wealth, you actually can move the narrative forward. So, or move the experience or the circumstances forward. That's why we have whales. When we see somebody come in a Bitcoin or drop out of Bitcoin or even the stock market, and that's kind of what we're watching when we're looking at trade. I mean, these things do make a difference. And I think we need more people that are whales that look like us.
Good point. Good point. Let's check in with the comments real quick. So Candace Brown's checking in. Almost missed y'all watching Pokio. Never heard of that one, but with the kids. Thanks for joining, Candace. Appreciate you being here. Lynette Wright says, I struggle with the concept always of getting involved with the system that also oppresses us. Individually, we need to get ahead, but I'm conflicted as it will always leave us behind intentionally. I want to talk about that, but I also want to honor everybody else as well. Don Johnson says, to be a billionaire, you have to create a few millionaires, but are those millionaires from our community? Okay. Willard Cooper says, what's up, Willard? Thanks for checking in, by the way. We need as many black billionaires as possible. The spill-off is necessary. The more we have, the more black people will eat. And Monica says, W.E.B. Du Bois believed that our race will be saved by its exceptional men, talented tenth. If we believe billionaires are the exception, then to create more, we need them to pull more of us up. Some great comments, y'all. Y'all bringing the smoke. Y'all are bringing the smoke. Real quick, I want to talk about Lynette. I think we all can add something to this. I think all of us have this struggle to a certain degree, Lynette, right? We look at what's going on socially, economically, politically, and a lot of times we feel that we've been left out. And not feel we have been left out. It's documented. It's facts, right? There's case law. There's all kinds of things. Redlining is a major thing that many of us really need to study and understand. What Courtney was talking about with entertainment, our career fields were redlined as well. So, we couldn't get access to the stock market. When you read the book, Black Fortunes, they talk about black folks using white people as proxies to invest in the stock market. So that's really real. But I will say this, though. I think it's imperative for us to get involved, right? I don't think we have a choice but to get involved at every possible level because we're here. And so once we're here and we're not leaving and we're not going anywhere else, we have to say, damn it, I'm here. We're here. We're going to take what's ours because we did build this country, right? But even further than that, we pay taxes. So since we pay taxes, you have the right to demand service. You have the right to demand change. You have the right to demand quality. We've been often told that we're not worthy of it, but we have to go through the process of unprogramming and reprogramming and basically take what's ours. And that's how every community, every ethnic group basically gets their own table and ultimately recognized at a bigger table as well. You got to have something. And I firmly believe that at this point. Anybody else have?
No, I just want to make a comment. Going back just a little bit about like taking a company public and things like that. To me, looking at this list, it's about creating value, right? Not necessarily taking a company public, but the value that you bring to the table. So when I look at say Kanye, right, and the brands that he's partnered with, like the Adidas and before the Nikes, he brought a certain value with him that made them get in strategic partnerships. The same with Michael Jordan. We talked about Oprah. Oprah and her work with Weight Watchers, which was a publicly traded company. I literally watched that because it wasn't just that she did a deal with them, but when she brought so much value to the table, it made everybody over there more wealthy. Their stock shot through the roof when Oprah joined because of the value that she brought with her. Jay-Z with Sprint and the amazing brands that he partners with, they bring value to the table which enables them to capitalize, but they're making a lot other people wealthy along the way, right? If you look at what happened to Adidas stock when Kanye signed on, and even what happened to the Gap in the short term when the news came out that he signed with the Gap, right? So I think Don brings up an excellent point, though, because one of the things we talk about is the trickle down. And I know trickle down economics, people have been preaching that since the late 70s, early 80s. But does that seem to work? And again, when I make these statements, it's just overall specific to our community, but overall, which is why the next point, I actually get her point, which is why it's a struggle, right? It's kind of a struggle because I don't know if it works overall, right? But I do believe that while we're in the system, and is operating as it's currently operated, we have to participate, to your point, Kamari, the whole system all the time.
I mean, I guess so. Again, I get it, right? Going back to Lynette's point, but I just don't see any other way to go about it, because if we go back and we rest on our laurels and we do nothing, we get abused even further. And it's just like a bully, right? The bully's going to keep bullying you until you punch the bully in the nose. And until we really figure out how to punch back in an organized fashion, we're going to keep getting punched in the nose. I mean, it's sad to say.
No, you're right. We have to participate. As I said, we have to participate, but we also have to keep in mind that if we're going to jump behind someone and that person gets to the status, they have a responsibility, right? Because I think that's lost in a lot of this talk about billionaires and even millionaires. Like I said, I have a lot of experience in dealing with millionaires, and a lot of black millionaires I know, I'm telling you, are just, they're terrible. They don't pull anyone up. And a lot of them, when they get to that status, they start hitting you with the stuff like, I don't see color. They start to, have those kind of conversations. And I'm pretty sure a lot of you know people like that too. We don't have to add them, but let's just say that there are people out there, when they get to a certain status, they're not about the community or their people anymore. In fact, they start to play that game where, I don't see color. I'm about people and all that kind of nonsense.
But Jimmy, I will push back on that, right? It's not even just millionaires, right? You have 100,000 there, black folks who are playing that same game.
Man, I know people that graduate college and turn their back on their community and family because they got a college degree. So you're right. It does go beyond it. I'm saying to me, that's the scary part about creating a billionaire. Like if that billionaire, to Don's point, isn't creating other people that look like us in our community, isn't creating other millionaires, but they're hoarding the resources just to further, push their agenda and actually making other folks millionaires. What good is that doing us?
Mm-hmm. So here's the thing. I want to bring this point up because I think I too struggle with going like, do I work in the system? Do I work outside the system? The system's corrupt, but how do I work it? And I think I kind of play that game a lot, especially being an attorney. I mean, you kind of look at you're like, this law ain't right, y'all. And you have, and if you're in a prosecutorial role, you actually have the ability to kind of change the interpretation of in your position. So that's one thing. But I think one of the things that I've noticed that where we tend to go wrong on a regular basis is that we don't learn the rules of the game. And not only do we not learn, so we're in the football field expecting to hit a home run and wondering what happened. Like, why is it not working? Well, you didn't learn the rules of the game, and then I've noticed that you get people in the stadium or the arena, and then they want to change the rules. And I'm like, just play by the rules, learn them, freak them, and learn to play them better than anybody else. Like, let's not do this. And I feel like, again, we really shoot ourselves in the foot because when you get more millionaires, you get more billionaires, there's a lot of things that they're able to exploit that the common or average person, we'll say average, no one's common, no one's average, I'll say this, but the common or average income cannot. And I think when we look at, does trickle down economics work? No, but trickle down money does. Because again, some of these people that we can look at this list, we know that we can actually name other people that they at least have made millionaires. So it's about shooting. People say shoot for the moon and you'll end up around, amongst the stars. And I'm like, but the stars are further than the moon, y'all. But I'm going to let them have it. But it's the same concept, is that you kind of shoot for something really, really high. But if you kind of come up a little under your goal, you're still well above where you were before or where you least started.
No, I agree. You just stepped on my man Donnie from BET. I can't think of his whole name. But he used to always say that, when you shoot for the moon, if you miss and you wind up with the stars, you're still in a good place. So I love
Simpson?
that. I love that commentary. Donnie Simpson.
It's a nice one, but it just doesn't. It's not factually correct. It sounds good though. It does. So
Well,
I just want to clarify it.
actually, it is, but we ain't going to debate that now. We can get back to it later.
I want to hear this. I want to hear this debate.
Okay, all right, real quick, because I don't want to belabor this, right? If you're shooting for the moon, right, that's your target.
Right.
And he's saying if you miss, you still wind up with the stars. But if you missed your target. If you move past that's right. You got it. If you go past the moon, you're going to end up with the stars at some point.
No, you could also end up back at Earth. Like, no. See, when you hit the moon, like,
the question you're throwing another variable in there though.
But I mean, I'm just saying that but see, here's the other thing. And I think this goes back to the stock market issue, is that everybody feels like the stock market's going to go up, but the stock market goes down a lot. But we're also thinking about, hey, if you miss the moon, it's like, well, if you miss the moon, you could also just fall into the ocean. I mean, I'm being honest. There's two things that could happen.
I don't know if anybody knows this, but Courtney's bachelor's in philosophy, so she just pulled us into a major philosophical debate.
I mean, with that being said, man, I just want to shout out Donnie Simpson and also Rachel from Caribbean Rhythm. Shout out to y'all because I know y'all probably watching.
Oh man, Rachel! Shout out to Rachel. Hey Tracy, you've been quiet over there. You got any other commentary for this?
I mean,
you're going in and out.
I think she muted. She's not going to.
Okay.
Yeah, I was like, you guys are hilarious as always. I mean, I'm listening to the commentary. I definitely feel like, from a billionaire perspective, to be able to shoot that high and break that glass ceiling, you almost have to be someone who played the game so well that once you got to a space where you could play your own game, you could lift other people up to be able to work beside you. But I also feel like there are some billionaires that played their own game the entire time and never played it by any of the rules. And it might have took them longer because they didn't play it by the regular rules, but they still do at some point earn their seat. So it's really just more about, do you have a dedication to your lane to be able to break through the glass ceiling on your own terms?
That's Tyler Perry. I think that's Tyler Perry.
Absolutely.
I really.
Your comment was hilarious. You put that up again, Kamari. Dudes get to see.
Get on the road.
But wait. But there is a special type of talent if you can actually back up a 18-wheeler properly and hit the curves properly. There's I can't up on y'all. I can't hear you while I'm backing up my big rig.
Oh, that's hilarious, Don. That's hilarious.
All right, so hold on, y'all. Willard chimed in. He says, we can't shame ourselves with the entertainment vehicle that has propelled many of us financially. As Courtney said, it's one of the few avenues that we're able to gain entry with less encumbrance. Thus, from there, we will expand our horizons. I agree.
Willard. Hey, Willard. Hey.
Shout out to Willard. Willard's another one of our real estate extraordinaires out there.
Shout out to Willard. We in an investment group together.
Hey, Willard.
Yes, we need to know the rules. Yes, Missy, we do. We do. And I guess, again, to piggyback on what Courtney said, many of us don't want to know the rules. Many of us just want to play victim all the time. And listen, it's one thing to lose and, lose a fight or whatever. But the mentality must always be, well, I'm coming back and I'm coming back better. And we're going to fight again. And I feel like we get beat a couple of times or we lose a couple of times for whatever reason. And we focus on the loss instead of the overall lessons that we learned from that loss. So, a lot of times we get caught in our feelings and our ego.
Yeah, can we talk about the tenacity that it takes to be a billionaire? Like, I feel like a lot of times that we get so focused on the loss or the error that we can't kind of rebound. And I think that's a really big issue when it comes to building wealth. You're not going to get everything right. And that's okay. But you have to keep going. And I've seen some people that, I post this on Instagram a lot. I said, you have $1 million in your brain. It's your job to get it out of there. But the thing is that people stop when they lose $5. I mean, and I don't want you just losing $5 for the heck of losing $5, but I think people stop at the first sign of like, oh, maybe this is for me. Maybe that's the world. That's the world telling me it's not for me. And it's like, no, maybe you just need to go about it differently. What do you think you did wrong? And talk to other people. I think it's so I was having this conversation. I think was it with you, Kamari, that I was talking about. We're so afraid of looking bad or messing up, that we don't really kind of step out and do something extraordinary because we're just afraid, because we're afraid that somebody's going to say, well, if it doesn't work, see girl, I told you, or see guy, I told you that was going to happen, or that you were going doing it wrong. Like, it happens. Like, we all make mistakes, but I can assure you that I can look through this list of billionaires and come up with a whole bunch of mistakes that they made, but they kept going. That's such a powerful tool that we have to keep using, because I'm so tired of people that look like us giving up. I mean, I don't know if everybody's seen that meme with the guy who has the diamonds, he has the pick, and he's like away, and he walks away when he's like that close to getting the diamonds. And I feel like I've seen that in real life play out over and over again.
Absolutely.
There are thousandaires with that problem.
Yeah. And that's the difference between them getting there.
So if you can't get past it as a thousandaire, to be able to keep your tenacity going and keep your grit going and be able to keep moving, you're not going to make it to billionaire status, because their tenacity is on supernova.
Right. I mean, I know
Hold
that.
on, hold on, folks. Hold on, folks. Hold on. Just want to say big shout out to our brother Corey, who's out there traveling. He couldn't make it today.
What's
but
good, bro?
he's in the comments, so he's with us in spirit and presently. I mean, and physically as well. So thanks, Corey, for checking in.
Yeah. So I mean, I know we're talking about billionaires, man, but one thing that I've been saying for the past couple of years, and people really don't prove me wrong so far, but I say, like, when people like start making that six figure, when they get to 100, they take their foot off the pedal. And a lot of times it's like, because their goal all their life is like, I just want to make six figures. And once they hit that first one, they fall back. And then also what I find is that, I'm not going to use most, I'm going to say a whole lot of people don't really want to be rich. They want to be the richest one in their circle. They want to be richer than their friends and family, but don't really want to be really rich, right? And so it's like, are you doing something because you love it, right? Or because you just want to make money, right? And if you love it, then you wake up and be different. If you're doing it just to make money, then you might, fall back. And at the same time, a lot of people don't even know how to kick it up to the next year, because like myself, I know I need one, but I never had a mentor. It was nobody ever really, it was ahead of me to help me get to a certain place, man. And that's a whole other thing. We got to talk about these billionaires, like who were their mentors to help them get to this space? Like who helped them along this path to billionaire status? How they figure it out?
Can you say that again? Some people hit six figures and they take the foot off the gas, though. Can you make that a meme? Jimmy,
I got you.
Kamari, make it up. Do it. That's it.
I got you.
I don't like you call my name second at the Jimmy's.
I mean, that says that says what it needs to. Like, I wasn't going to say that, but I'm glad you recognize that. Thank you. I appreciate that. I definitely appreciate that. Listen, though, that was a great point, Malik. But it's funny because I think a lot of people don't want to be millionaires or billionaires because they don't want the responsibility that comes with that, right? So we need to be honest about that too. When we have these conversations, I think we need to be honest about like what a lot of people actually want, because at least in my opinion, when you get to that level, it comes with responsibility, right? It comes with responsibility, and a lot of people just.
To your point, Jimmy, right? A lot of people also don't believe that they're good enough or worthy enough to be millionaire or billionaire status, because we've been taught that money is the root of all evil. But go ahead.
I mean, I want to speak to the people.
Yeah,
that get to the
go ahead, Tracy.
The $100,000 six figure level, and then they stop the gas. Every new level is a new devil. You have to be prepared for the pivot.
Bars. That's a t-shirt.
Understand? Like, you really, really have to be prepared for the fact that level that's higher. It's Mario Brothers all over again. Like now the little pipe is spinning and there's fireballs coming at you, and you got to be able to pivot all of that stuff. So I think people have to be able to be mentally flexible and tenacious all at the same time. And I think some people just aren't built for having to move in that fashion. They're just comfortable with, I hit the 6 figures, I did as much as I could, yay me, now I'm out.
Facts. Real quick,
At
everybody.
every new level, there's a new
You're watching.
level.
Real quick, everybody. You are watching the Black Wealth Project Town Hall meeting. Every Sunday at 7 p.m., we are here. We're talking about issues about Black wealth. We're looking to expand the conversation about Black wealth. Please share this with somebody who's thinking about Black wealth, looking to become Black wealth, trying to become Black wealthy, right? Because again, the quality of your conversations will definitely help up level your overall journey. So, Jimmy, I think you were saying something. Or was it?
No, I just said at every new level, there's a new devil. I mean, let's let y'all know the merch coming soon. At every new level, there's a new devil. That was a bar. We got to put that. We got to put that on the hoodie. That.
Make sure you at me though. Make sure you at me though.
He definitely at you. So listen, because look, Kamari. So Jimmy and I had a conversation last week, some like very similar about what you just said, right? Black folk, learning like the love of money is the root of all evil, right? You hear people, saying that. And what I told Jimmy, like, it's not that. It's not the love. It's the lack of money that is the root of all evil, right? If you look at all the crimes and everything going on in the city, like right now, it's because of lack of finances. They knocking people upside the head and stealing purses and selling dope and shooting people. It's the lack of money being the root of all evil. That's my opinion, but it goes along with what you said. We are definitely taught that having money is bad. It's a negative to have money. People bring from the church, and I can't, imagine that. So
can we?
Well, actually, the scripture is often quoted incorrectly.
Right.
And that's the problem. We have a lot of, and listen, I'm not trying to go there with church folk. I ain't trying to diss. I'm just saying factually, the scripture is quoted incorrectly.
Mm-hmm.
It's shoot, I hope I don't mess it up because it's been beating our head so much, right?
Here you go. You're about to mess it up.
Yeah, I think I am. Who got it? Anybody got it?
I have it. All right.
Go ahead, Courtney.
1 Timothy chapter 6, verse 10.
Oh, damn, you got verse and book.
Because I quote everything. So for the love of money is the root of all evil, which while some coveted after, they have erred from the faith and pierced themselves through with many sorrows. So it's the love of money. It's the love. It's actually loving money. And to kind of even take it further than that, it's making money your God.
Right.
Like having money and loving money are two separate things. And I think that was what Jimmy was kind of getting to earlier, is that so many people have got a little something in their pocket and all of a sudden they get brand new. It's about using money for what it is it's a tool. I don't love my tools. I don't love my hammer. I don't love I really liked my car. But that being said, is that the love of it. So it's the love, it's the worship of it, and which is problematic. So I think again is that we're taught these things, and I mean I'm not coming for no church people, whatever. I'm just saying we're taught these things, and they are morphed or made into a way to come into really play into our sensibilities, which is actually not correct. And I think again, we look at people, and I think to Jimmy's point is that we look at some rich people and we're like, yo, that person is evil. No, he's doing bad things. And look, he has money and he's using his money to do bad things. No, money just exposes your heart.
Facts.
Yeah. And for the church folks out there, don't come at me, because only passage I know is Ezekiel 35:17, and that's from watching Pulp Fiction. But also, Malik, to your point, I think that's the next piece of merch we're gonna do. The lack of money is the root of all evil. That's the next piece after Tracy's piece. So we got two hoodies from the shirt. You got that one already? All right, so we just
I put it on Teespring.
I got you, guys. We need a Black Wealth. We need a Black Wealth hoodies coming out, man. We got to take some. Y'all be out here dropping these bars. We got to put these bars on some hoodies, man.
Facts.
Absolutely. Don, I think Don made a great comment. Brown will hit a bill, and Maverick Carter will also. And I think if you look at what LeBron has done, right, he knows the rules. He played the game, and he rewrote the rules with all of that. He brought up his whole team, and he made his whole team get educated. He put his whole team in position. He didn't give them anything. They had to earn it, right? And a lot of times we think by giving somebody something, it's the thing. But if you're truly bringing value, you're earning it the whole way through, no matter who you're getting it from.
Yep. If you give somebody something without them working for it, they will learn to love your hand instead of loving the heart.
Facts.
Damn.
All right, let's run through these comments real quick.
Tracy need to be in the car more often because this is like
I know. Yeah, she giving us a sermon tonight. What's going on?
I think better when I'm driving, y'all. Think better when I'm driving.
All right, so
listen, just so you know.
Hold on, Malik. Kim Blade says we need to have the ability to risk and fail. I think that's a dead on right there. Try different ideas. Many self-made billionaires also came from the fact that they had people either from family or friends that had money and they could go out there and try out new ideas. See, Ken, I know a lot of people think that, but we're talking about black billionaires tonight, not regular billionaires, them Trump made up folks. Most of the black billionaires came from the mud. They came from nothing. The richest guy right now, which is Robert Smith, went to a regular middle class school. He got a job, right? I know everybody telling y'all not to get jobs, but he got a job. He on Wall Street. Well, excuse me, he was an engineer first, and he got a job. Went back to school, got his MBA, worked on Wall Street, got mentorship. Going back to Malik's point, from other black folks on Wall Street, right? So there's so many different factors, but many times we don't have that safety net, but we find a way to be mentally tough enough to take the L and deal with the consequences and keep rocking out. All right, so
but the point, wait, real quick, the point that I wanted to make is that I want to say this is important. That for any insurance providers or attorneys watching, Tracy is not driving. It's actually a simulation. She's not really moving the vehicle. She's not.
Simulation.
It's a simulation. It's not. She's not really driving.
I don't know what's going on. I have no idea.
If y'all been rocking with us for a while, we got jokes, y'all. We got jokes. So Ken Blaze also says because you can learn from failure and then adjust with the experience. Exactly, Ken. Great points. What else we got here? Oh man, we got a lot of comments here. They be sneaking in on me. Corey said bars. Mona Jean said, hello, Mona Jean. Thanks for joining us, by the way. Yes, I agree with the mentor thing. I got some commentary on the mentor thing, but we'll say that for later.
Why don't mentors?
Well, because I think Mona also asked, how do we find black millionaires who are willing to mentor? So I think you can kind of deal with both of those the same things. I think we all may have some commentary on mentorship.
Okay. All right. So Candace says, I don't know anyone who wouldn't want to be a millionaire or billionaire. I think most wouldn't want the visibility that often comes with it. I don't know that everybody wants to do the work that a millionaire or billionaire does.
You see Instagram, they want the fame. Cut it out.
They do. And I think it's a function of work. Like, do you want to do the work that takes to get there? Because if you said to somebody, it stands that stupid credit meme, but if you said to somebody, when you wake up in the morning, you're going to have $1 million, do you be like, oh, you know what? I don't want it. And honestly, when you look at the top two, David Stewart and Robert Smith, they were not visible until relatively recently. And they were billionaires well before we knew who they were. So again, go ahead.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So I'm like, you don't actually have to be on the radar if you have money. Like, you just don't have to be. Listen, I'm gonna be hanging out with Jimmy at somebody's, in Jamaica. Like
Rick's Cafe.
The party boat. We have Rick's Cafe. Let's go.
I'll be there on a private boat and I'll leave out later.
I'll be
Let's go.
This is a good point. It's the same principle Jesus said when he said you cannot serve two masters, God and mammon. You will hate one and love the other. Also see the young rich ruler who Jesus said to give it away. Yeah, I agree.
Those are the points that I was making earlier. What's up, Ken? Thank you, Ken. I love it. I love the context.
Ken says y'all got bars galore.
Hey.
Too much fire this morning. By the way, Gift is over in South Africa in Johannesburg, and it's like 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. So shout out to Gift.
Shout out to you.
Listen, y'all, we international.
Hey.
We international. So keep sharing this so we can keep spreading this good gospel. And let the congregation say amen.
Sure.
All right, Clutch Sports is low-key a powerful company within the
Not
sports.
even low key. Not low key. They changed the game. They see him coming. That's why they got to change the rules for what they doing. They see him.
Oh, that's the what you call his homie, right?
Rich Paul, who's
right.
LeBron's agent, also one of his childhood friends.
Right.
Yeah, and what LeBron did is so amazing. I mean, Maverick Carter sits on the board of a Fortune 500 company. Like, think about that. He sits on the board of Live Nation, and you talk about LeBron. You talk about your homie putting you in position. That's crazy.
But he worked for it though, right? And he didn't take it for granted.
He did.
Yeah.
So it's about getting the opportunity, but taking advantage of those opportunities.
Right.
How do we find black millionaires who want to go at Real Estate Coach Carter? Offer all the minutes. He got courses and mentorship.
But let's talk about mentorship real quick, y'all, because a lot of us want mentorship. And listen, Mona Jean, I don't know you, so this is no diss to you. But a lot of us say we want mentorship and we ain't did the work.
Right.
So when you go find a mentor, when you're looking for a mentor, you have to have had something, and you need to be bringing something to your mentor. It's an exchange. It's a mutual exchange of value. Most of us don't need a mentor. I'll be honest. Most of us need to get to the work. And then once you start doing the work, you will naturally network with people and meet people that you'll develop a relationship with. And that's how true mentorship really happens.
Well, you can get a mentor anywhere. I mean, you can actually have mentors in your head. You can read their books. You can become their students. Like, you don't have to have a physical mentor. Now, to your point, Kamari, when you do the work, you want a sponsor. You want somebody who's going to bring your name up in rooms that you're not in.
Yep.
And that's really what we need and what we want, but we think that's a mentor. Like, I forgot who I was reading the book, and he was talking about how Jim Rohn was his mentor in his head. He ain't never met him, but this guy, he reads all his stuff. He kind of goes along with his philosophy. This is his mentor in his head. And he's actually done relatively well. I forgot who it was, so my bad, y'all. But I thought that was so interesting. But again, when you do the work, you get people who will sponsor you, who will say your name and say, yo, you know what? I have a project that you have a project that needs to get done. I have the perfect person for you. Here's so-and-so. And again, that's why you grind. But you grind in a productive way. I feel like we grind, we work from sun up to sundown without a rest. And that's not productive either. So it's about smart.
Yeah, I want to go back to something Tracy said. I think it was last week, right? And we were talking about networking, because a lot of times people think a mentor is a meal ticket. People think a mentor is going to generate business for you. Huh?
I said you stole my point. I was getting ready to harken back to what Tracy said, because that was powerful. But go ahead though.
Right, because she said, we really need to be working laterally, horizontally, connecting with our brothers and sisters who are in the struggle with us. And figuring out ways to help them out, figuring out ways to big them up. But Jimmy, what did you have for it? I don't want still all your smoke.
No, I was going to say that I was going to bring up that exact point, because when she said that, it's had me thinking. Tracy be out here dropping these balls, but she's absolutely right. A lot of times we always are looking up as opposed to building with each other. Because the thing about, to go back to the LeBron example, as he was moving up, he was bringing his friends along with him, but they supported him and helped them to get into where he is now. But he also helped them to get to where they are now as well. So it's like when she brought that point up about looking to your side as opposed to always looking up, I just thought that was very powerful.
Yeah.
Because that's my whole point. Like, networking across is actually a lot better to fulfill the needs that most people believe as to why they need a mentor. But most people don't understand mentorship, coaching, sponsorship. All these people are already in the arena, and they're watching. They're watching the little bit of people that are doing the little bit of things. They're watching the uptick of the movement of people who are doing well. And the moment you put yourself in a space where now you've done something extraordinary, your mentor may have already know who you are.
Yep,
Yeah.
that's
Yep.
facts.
Bars. Yo,
That is-
Don is in his bag tonight in the comments, by the way.
He is. He really is. I love it. I love it. Shout out to Don.
Now, listen, y'all. I think we need to change Tracy's name. We need to change her name to Driving Wisdom by Tracy or something like that. She that's gonna be a whole new brand or something. Just give me 2%, Tracy. That's all I want.
Listen, I'm telling you, like the motion, something about not really listening, but listening and paying attention, and my brain.
No, I actually go through that same thing. Driving actually can be very cathartic. But Don says she's training for that CDL. Yo, Don is in his bag tonight, yo.
Oh, Don.
Yes, Candace, people in your network.
Exactly.
Katina, I hope I'm saying your name right. Forgive me if I didn't, but welcome.
Katiana.
Katiana.
That's beautiful.
That's a beautiful name. I
It is.
hope we didn't butcher it. Please, I hope we didn't butcher it. But
Please forgive me. Charge it to my head and not my heart. Ayana Laney Martin says, it is hard work to become a billionaire. Shoot, it's hard to become a thousandaire. Facts. Lots of people don't want to work hard. Yep.
Sure.
I agree.
Shout out to Ayana.
Hey, KG. Hey, she's a fellow attorney. Hey, I love my attorneys.
Yes, we know, Courtney. Shout out to you, KG. Thanks for watching. Welcome.
Oh, she's a patent attorney. Ho, time out. Boop. Flag on the play. So she is a patent attorney, and I can just tell you, I think we kind of highlighted tech a little bit, but these STEM positions really here come the civil engineer over there, Tracy. You're a civil engineer? Are you chemical? Chemical. Oh, blowing stuff up. So I mean, but I think we really underplay the value of these STEM positions and these STEM But anyway, so she killed it. She got a patent bar. Then she went to law school. So you don't actually have to. I think that's a misconception. You don't, in order to be a patent attorney, you actually have to be licensed to the patent bar. Let me clarify. You don't actually have to go to law school. All you need is the science background. And a lot of people kind of think that they have to, and they don't. But again, these STEM opportunities are so powerful in terms of money and in terms of leveraging knowledge. I'm a big STEM proponent, although I have a philosophy degree. I'm going to just leave it at that.
But you know what, Courtney? Let me piggyback off that, right? Because when you look at these 7, they all leverage IP in some way, shape, or form. Whether it be Tyler Perry, whether it be Jordan with Jordan franchise, whether it be Kanye with his royalties, whether again Jay-Z with royalties and trademarks, definitely with Robert Smith being a private equity manager, and also with David Stewart as well with being in IT. I'm sure they all have their hands in IP, and many of us don't even think about IP. IP technically is probably the richest asset class you could ever get into.
Oh, facts. But I think it's the hardest. Arguably, it is the hardest.
Well, no risk, no reward.
Fact. Greater the risk, the greater the reward. Don't do stupid stuff, but greater the risk, greater the reward. But I have a little asterisk. Don't do stupid stuff. Boom. Can we get that on the shirt? Greater the risk, greater the reward, and then do a little asterisk. Don't do stupid stuff.
We gotta have a meeting about hoodies after this. And real quick to Candace's point, I just want to take time to shout out Earl Graves. Because one of the reasons I knew who David Stewart as well as Robert Smith are because of the work that Earl Graves did. And that's what Black Rise, right? I talked about him early, one of our earlier shows about what Black Enterprise did for me as a youngster coming up, being able to read that magazine and see people that look like me that were doing things. So he's been highlighting David Stewart for years. So just want to give a quick shout out to Black Enterprise and the work that was done by Earl Graves. Rest in power.
Absolutely. Shout out to Earl Graves. Shout out to his son, Butch Jr. Shout out to Black Enterprise altogether, because Black Enterprise definitely, I mean, listen, this wouldn't be possible if it wasn't for Earl Graves. So we must always remember we stand on the shoulders of giants.
Okay, so I got corrected, y'all. KG is not a patent attorney. She's a cybersecurity scientist for the government.
Okay.
Whoa.
Sharp
Extra
left
smart.
turn, but all right.
Still fire. It's still fire.
Oh, Mona Jane. Okay, you're in the tax group. All right. Shout outs to you.
Hey, tax friend.
Yeah, me and Courtney are on the tax room with our Black tax pros. We have a good time. That's our steam. That's our stress relief.
What kind of
Okay.
conversations do you guys have in the tax pro group?
Good point, Ken. Reading a book is basically the way to get knowledge from the person without direct combo. Yes, but sadly, so many of us don't believe in reading because of one of the people that's on the list, whose name I will remain nameless. But yeah, I agree. Reading's important. Reading's important.
So wait, there was a question that Jimmy asked of us, like, what are we talking to Black Tax Group?
What do we talk about in the Black Tax Group? All right, so shout out to all my people in the Black Tax Group. We
I'm
talk
just
about
interested.
what's that? What's that,
I
Jimmy?
said I'm just interested as to what kind of conversations you guys have in that Black tax group. That's all.
So it spans, right? We talk about the janky, ratchet stuff that we run into with our clients or potential clients. We help one another sometimes understand potential areas of the law. Courtney comes in heavy on that a lot because she is probably, I think you might be the only tax attorney in there. We refer business to one another, right? So matter of fact, that's a great point, right? When you network with other people, going back with Tracy's point, these are all kind of lateral people, all on my same level, all on on Courtney's level, because I know Courtney's got quite a few inheritance tax returns referred to her in there, right? You refer business to one another. Now, many people will say, why would you refer business to another accountant or another tax firm? Everybody doesn't have the same expertise.
Right.
Everybody doesn't have the same personality, right? When you're talking about doing business with people, basically the public, you have to factor in personalities and how people deal with personalities. I get a lot of business, not because I'm the best tax person in the world, but I have a pretty amiable personality to deal with people and their stuff. And so you have to factor in all those things, and understanding those things actually help you accentuate your gift. So, it's not about us being in competition. I call it cooperation. We can be a competition. We can see that something, we do the same thing, and, we keep each other motivated, like being on the same team or whatever. Matter of fact, I'm in competition right now with About a Hood. They're beating my butt on YouTube, and Jimmy's been beating my butt in memes for a minute. Guess what? I'm coming back for the crown. And it's all love, though.
Let's
It's
go.
all love, right?
Absolutely.
It definitely causes you to level
Absolutely.
up.
Listen, I referred a client to you. I referred someone to you yesterday, Kamari, as a matter of fact, like in terms of tax wise, but so you should be hearing from him. But I just think that's interesting. I think that's dope too. A black tax. I mean, I just think that's a great idea, and I think that's dope that you guys communicate with each other like that.
So I'm in a Black attorneys group too, a Black women's attorneys group. Like, I mean, we really do try to network amongst each other because, again, not everybody has expertise in everything. I mean, master of trades, jack of all trades, master of none. So my specialty in the tax world is inheritance tax. Pennsylvania is one of the only places that has it. It's like one of three. A lack of inheritance tax, Malik and Tracy will probably know this personally, will kill a deal in a second. And I have come in a couple of times and gotten a tax return done in a couple hours, where it would take some professionals a couple of days to do it. I can get it done in a couple of hours.
Right.
Because I also enforced it. So I worked for the government that enforces the tax. So I know what's going to be the problem areas and such. So I think, a lot of people will look at people like, oh, they work in the government, and they kind of look down on them. But it's like, no, this person probably has a cheat code. And not that they give you away the secrets, but they're like, no, I know how this thing is done. These are the kind of, if you talk to the IRS auditor after they retire, they're like, yeah, we don't pay attention to the super rich people because it's too much work for us to fight with them. But we'll hang out with the lower level business people because they don't have the resources to fight us.
Yep. But I want to touch on real quick, Courtney. I want to say something real quick, and we got to begin to wrap up the show tonight, folks. But again, I'm seeing these memes running around about people hating jobs and not doing jobs. But if you pay attention, your job can truly deliver you to financial freedom, right? So one of the things about becoming a billionaire is learning to leverage what's in your ecosystem, what's around you, and then figuring out honestly how to leverage and exploit that to make more money for yourself. And when I say leverage and exploit, I'm not talking about in a bad way to hurt people, but I'm talking about to increase your bank account. So, I think we don't have enough open and honest conversations. And a lot of times when we had these conversations, they are very, very black and white. When in actuality, life is very nuanced. There's so many things that go into a thing. So, I just want to say that. So with that said, something else I learned is that someone is going to mentor you. You need to sell what you're bringing to the table for them. This isn't charity. Bring your worth and sell your skills. And that I agree, but I kind of disagree all at the same time. Like, if you got a mentor, you're not selling. Like Tracy said, they probably know who you are.
Right.
And if you have somebody that's going to mentor you and they don't know you, I would say that that's not really a real mentorship, just in my opinion.
Yeah.
'Cause mentorship, there's a real personal connection there.
Yeah.
Don says they're not eating off of LeBron, they eating with him. Yeah, exactly. They're bringing value to the table. Listen, when everybody comes to the table to eat, everybody got their own chicken. Might be a different flavor of chicken. They got their own broccoli. They got their own, beverage, and they just put it on the table and they say, everybody go for it. Now, here's a quick aside. I don't like going to dinner with everybody because when I go out to dinner with my friends, we all split the bill evenly, right? So we order what we want. We get what we want. Listen, and if somebody's money is funny, because let's keep it real, sometimes your money might get a little funny. We let that be known up front. And then 9 times out of 10, your folks still carry the bill, and then you just take care of the next one or whenever, right? But the point is that everybody's still bringing something to the table, y'all. So that's the mindset we got to get into.
And if you come out to dinner with me, and you start calculating what you had to eat and start penny pinching, I promise you will not be invited to dinner again.
We heard about you. We heard about you on Courtney's meals.
Illustrious dinners.
Yeah, when Courtney and Tracy sit down, it's like $6,000 off top.
Pass the caviar.
Talk about big baller brand. Right. All right. So Ken says facts. All right. Cool. All right. KG said, all right. Not a patent attorney. Courtney covered that already.
All right.
Yep. STEM. Absolutely. Mona Jean. Okay. Done because there is enough money for. Yeah, there is. You know what? And that was the other thing I wanted to talk about too. We got to really tap into the abundance mindset. There are a lot more of us that can be thousandaires. There's a lot more of us that can be millionaires, and there's a lot more of us that can actually be billionaires. Yep. Willard says, great program, all. A lot of great information. I was inspired. Appreciate you, Willard. Appreciate the great words.
Thanks, bro. Thank you.
Listen, again, you are watching the Black Wealth Project's weekly town hall meeting. Our conversation today was, how does the Black community create more Black billionaires? All right. I believe, and I think the panel all kind of believes right there, is traits and tactics that many of them have taken on that we all can use in our own personal life. There's many things that we can encourage our youth to do. Again, it's kind of an anti-college movement going on out here. Robert Smith got his MBA. Robert Smith, highly accomplished engineer as well. And now he is the highest Black billionaire because he was able to take his degree and then leverage it to get into private equity. And so there's always something that's interrelated. We just got to do the work to find out how to leverage it. Mm-hmm. So as we come to a close, everybody, anybody have anything that they're putting on this week or need help with promoting?
So I am teaching investing in cannabis class with Brown Girls Who Invest on Saturday. It is 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I think 1 p.m. Central Standard Time. Let me look at this thing. Yes, that's correct. 2 p.m. Eastern Standard, 1 p.m. Central Standard on Saturday. So teaching that with Brown Girls Who Invest. Super excited because a lot of people are still very much interested in cannabis. So that's what I'll be doing this week.
Okay, cool. Anybody else have anything?
Check out my Instagrams on Instagram.
I do. I just want to say real fast that it's officially hoodie season. So you can go to @BuyTheHood. You can cop the new Buy the Hood hoodies. Like this one is deeds and dividends are greater than debt. You know what I'm saying? That's a message we need to put out there for our community. Get them deeds and dividends, leave that debt alone. But go to word alliteration. Go to @BuyTheHood on Instagram. Link in the bio. You'll see the merch. But it's hoodie season. It's time to bring the hoodies out.
All right, cool. Malik, you got anything?
No, I'm good this week. I'm hanging tight.
Okay. Tracy, you got anything going on?
No, nothing that people need to do other than the normal. Buy some real estate, own some stuff, and make sure you're part of this tax code.
Hey, I know that's right. Well, listen, everybody, we appreciate you all coming here. We're definitely humbled that you tune in with us every week. Listen, don't stop the motion. Keep it going. We will be back next week, 7 p.m. ish. Right. We'll be back here next Sunday, 7 p.m. And do us a favor, share this out with somebody, and do us another favor. Tell somebody to come on over to our Facebook page and like our page. So until next week, we'll see you all again. We'll come back with another hot topic next Sunday at 7 p.m. Next Sunday, 7 p.m. I'll see you all later. Have a great night.
Peace.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Peace.